Today, yoga is practiced by hundreds of millions of people around the world. It has crossed borders, cultures, and generations. Yet the deeper question remains, what is it that people are truly searching for? Is it fitness? Is it health? Or is it something much deeper? Balance, meaning, and perhaps inner peace? In a world that seems to move faster every day, ancient traditions like yoga and Ayurveda are finding a renewed balance. To explore why, I'm delighted to be joined by two people who have dedicated their lives to wellness and holistic living. Ravi Bhanot, MBE JP, and Sushma Bhanot, MBE, are the co founders of Cool Herbals, one of UK's leading Ayurvedic health and well-being organizations. Both have spent decades helping people reconnect with healthier and more conscious ways of living. That too in a country that is not native to Indian wellness concepts, the United Kingdom. Welcome and a very happy International Day of Yoga to both of you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Namaste. I think, as you rightly said, people are looking for a bit more than just exercises, which they can be doing and have been doing for years and centuries. But I think yoga gives a bit more. You're looking at connection between the inner body and the outer body, the balance, the connection, not just between ourselves. When you're doing yoga, you tend to do it in company. Of course, a lot of people do on their own, just watching TV perhaps or on YouTube, but also connects you with your inner self. A time when you can meditate perhaps as part of the yoga, so you can connect and perhaps look at areas on your body, physically, mentally, spiritually, which need healing. And yoga, as the word implies, connects all the three parts together. So you feel healthier and better.
Yoga is very closely connected with the word well being. There's a lot of conversation about emotional, personal, physical well being. What do you think people misunderstand most about the idea of well being?
I would thank you, Lakshmi ji. It's great to see you. So, well-being, they misunderstand that because they think well-being is just focusing on one thing, and I would say they really focus on just the physical. But what they do not quite follow, although it's getting better, is that well-being is a balance between mind, body, and soul. Hence, the attraction towards yoga. People only focus on one of these elements, and it's usually just the body side. Let me look good. I'll do this. I'll have this food. I'll have that food. I'll build up my muscles. But what they don't realize, well being is a tripod of those three things. And you can only embrace well being when all those three things, your mind, your body, and soul, are balanced. It's not just about nourishing the body, it's about nourishing the mind. Whatever you may do, mindfulness, meditation. And then more and more, we want to look inwards now. It's not enough to just do your routine. We will need to look within. What are we? Who are we? And what are we doing? So I think that's the misunderstanding.
And you both have dedicated, your lives. You've been working within that space of Ayurveda, health, and wellness. Do you think that the modern living is seeing more healthier and more health conscious choices among people?
Well, if you look at what's happening globally, obesity is at an all time high. Now, if it was just a question of having low calorie meals, just having high protein, why do we have such a health issue? That we think it's because the word balance is perhaps, I think, better defined by the Ayurvedic approach, which is that you're looking at having the six tastes in your diet. It is having the balance of carbs with protein. It is not just by high protein, because if you remember a few years ago, there was the American concept of just having high protein, and people having problems with the liver and such like because there was an overload. So I think word balance, I think the Indian approach is the best because we tend to have foods which are balanced, A, with respect to nutrition, with respect to having the six tastes that I'm referring to. It's about having the concept of eating foods which are not just give you calories or energy, which are what calories counts basically. It also tells you, takes into account the amount of toxins leaving behind and how easy it is to digest the food. So foods when we're eating, we should be looking at all three. So for example, you could have 100 gram, for example, say a fish compared to say a red meat, right? Say pork or such like. In terms of calories, it could be both the same, but are they as easy to digest? Are they as easy, as likely to leave as much toxins behind? No. We know that white meat compared to red meat, for example, a lot easier. So, therefore, it implies that calories alone is not a measure. We've got to look at it the Ayurvedic approach, which is look at the all three elements. That's
And
just
the body is more than just, nutrients. It's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of other aspects to a human being as such. It is also your doshas. It's so much more. And Ayurveda, yoga, they are complemented by many other sciences. What has been your experience in the UK explaining all of this complex stuff to people who are perhaps alien to these concepts?
So, when we started out, there was very little knowledge on Ayurveda. I mean, they didn't even know the word, they couldn't even say the word. Our, local community and even the practitioners, the professionals. But what we have noticed, even traveling around the world, even nowadays, the top hotels, they want to provide some element of Ayurveda or holistic therapies. So it's been a slow journey, I think probably over the last even 30 years, but slowly it's, integrating into normal life, whether it's you're on holiday and experiencing it, or whether somehow you're bombarded with it on a daily basis. We know about our turmeric latte from the big coffee shops, but we have turmeric has been a part of our culture for over 5,000 years. So you can see that slowly the world is embracing it. And now I would say it's in a good position. Of course, not perfect. And they're beginning to also understand the key message in Ayurveda about balance. People are trying very hard because of our fast moving world to have balance in their lives. And I think that is one of the keys to well being, the balance. We're still fighting that, but that's what Ayurveda advocates. So nowadays, they're drawing from the roots and they're slowly seeing the benefits of that. Even the health professionals, the GPs, now they are happy alongside their allopathic medicine to offer some holistic approach. Before it was very no, but now it's changing. So yes, it's been embraced very well.
And I remember alternate therapy or alternate supporting therapies were not
Mm.
considered at all. Let's talk about the silent killer, stress, burnout. There's so much information overload. There is doom scrolling. What do you think, or what do you, from an Ayurvedic practitioner, would say about modern living to the people, listening to you?
a very good point. A good question, Lakshmi Ji. If you look at what's happening out there, the amount of options you have now, our brains have never ever had to make such decisions. For example, when the car came out, they said, "What color would you like?" As long as it's black. Very clear. You don't have to make a decision. Now just a simple decision about buying a car, what color, the seats, the driving wheel, and all the other options you get with it has made life a bit more difficult. And people are scared of making the wrong decision. And that is what's holding a lot of people back. Put a lot of stress unnecessarily. It's because there is uncertainty. So, what Ayurveda and yoga meditation teaches us is look inwards first. Quite often, you know the answer, it's within, but we don't ask ourselves. So that time, me time, when you're meditating, answers a lot of questions. And I think we have to get our bearings right. The pressure we have nowadays, bombarded by adverts, bombarded by social media. This is what you should be wearing. This is what you should be doing. It's sometimes overwhelming. And when you can't keep up with the Joneses or the Patels, it becomes even more of a stress.
It does. And it's all about finding that balance, as you said, but not many people know where to even begin. Where do you say that people begin? It's so much, this with so much information, so much confusion. It's not just a black card that you're buying now. You're buying multiple brands and black shades of black. It's become so confusing. Where does anybody start?
So I think, as we've said, the world, I would say, is not getting healthier because we have all this pollution from digitalization and pollution. But the way people can be health conscious is to draw from their body. That's what I would say. We are no longer listening to our body. We are only looking outwards, like what have they got? What do I need to do? What is the latest information on even this drug, even this herb? But instead, listen to your body. And that is the only way that we will combat the constant bombardment of stimuli that we're getting about health, about material things, about people. And once you start slowing down and listening to that little voice inside and to your own body, what's good for it, then only will this health be embraced further. So that is what I would say. Listen to your body and your mind rather than look to external stimuli. I must have that new supplement. It will be good for my knees. No, what do your knees need it? For your gut, what is good? You know your digestion. What is good for it? Eat accordingly. There may not be a need for a supplement. So it's looking inwards at yourself,
Very well
listening.
said. And a lot of
Mm.
people follow trends, right? I mean, they just go with whatever's in vogue and just follow that. And there's this kind of diet and there's this supplement in vogue.
What I've found that when you do research, it's great. Obviously, Sushma is just saying, think inside. What is it you want? What's your purpose in life? But also, then you have to look at the research and looking rather than west, look east. Whether it is Ayurvedically speaking, or from a Chinese perspective, or Japanese, and see what are they doing. Because if you look at, for example, here, when I was doing our research, and the first book I wrote was Here Today, Here Tomorrow, which was now 13 years ago. And what we found was that people in the Far East or East had better hair than people in the West. They led to research as to why. What is it? What's the differences? Nutrition is one, obviously, lifestyle things, aspects such as stress is another, hereditary is another, of course, products is another. So we then coined the word Nutri-Grow, which is basically looking at all of these factors, and that's what we've been advocating, and that's what more and more salons are using that concept, um, and that's what we found that people we don't necessarily have to use the word Ayurvedic because a lot of people don't understand what the word means. Just like turmeric is now a generic word which is used left, right, and center. But if you ask them, is it an Ayurvedic herb? Most people would probably not know what you're talking about. So I think the way we've approached it is that let's look at what we want people to learn rather than necessarily talking about doshas and such like. We that comes in what we're doing, but not necessarily using those words.
Cool. So then let's talk about the cool aspect of Cool Herbals. How
Mhm.
did it become cool and accepted? What has been the journey?
We were very happy running our two pharmacies. We had a lovely, business. And when we were asked, by big multiple to take that. They wanted to take that from us. We took that as a message that yes, it's our calling to do something that we really want to do. We were very happy doing what we were doing, and we saw the value of it. But we also saw the value that you can't just firefight with drugs. So we had a passion. Can speak for Ravi as well, to make people well, but not just through drugs. So I suppose that's when the idea was born, and we have filled to an extent that gap in the market where we made people more aware of their health, what else we could offer, whether it was testing to see what was going on in their body, which wasn't really done 30 years ago, 25, 30 years ago. See what's going on, and then find a balanced diet or a supplement or a lifestyle change to change it. And hence, the business was born. And then we branched out into products based on ancient Ayurvedic herbs like Brahmi, Neem. And we found that was received very well because up till then, there'd just been chemical based. Maybe if it was skincare or hair care, as we were just speaking about. So we used the ancient principles, but made products according to the modern age, and it made people know more about calming herbs like Brahmi, the antibacterial herbs like Neem. So that's how that was born, and it's developed since then. We've trained around 6,000 therapists in those types of products and therapies, and it's and
In
it's
the
and it's
UK.
growing in the UK and beyond. Actually, we've had a lot of interest from Europe, Japan, many countries. Everybody wants to have some element of that in their life or even in their business. They want to promote it to their clients, whether it's an Ayurvedic facial for brightening, for aging, for problem skin. They want to offer that to their clients. So they are slowly, conveying that message, if you like, to the masses. So it's been a journey, but it's slowly, gone wider than we would have thought.
And one thinks that, Ayurveda, especially in the Western context, because there is allopathy that is prominently, relied on, and there are pharma giants that obviously are interested in promoting those. So that becomes a barrier to anybody trying to promote the indigenous practices,
Mhm.
particularly Ayurveda, homeopathy, even naturopathy. There hasn't been too much headway that companies have been able to make. What's been your magic mantra in being successful?
I think the mantra is that you're quite right in that you can't trademark words like neem or plants like herbs like neem and Brahmi and turmeric and such like. But you can certainly use the products, these ingredients, so that people are using the Ayurvedic herbs. Number one, they're also in terms of for diet, for example. We were just saying that we've been educating people about using the word what we've coined the K value rather than the calorie value. So that is another natural approach for weight management. So the secret really of the mantra is use principles which people can use practically rather than theoretically. And I think people want results rather than looking at names. So when people are looking at health issues, I think obviously there's a place for allopathic, there's a place for Ayurvedic or naturopathy. Naturopathy tends to be more for chronic conditions, as opposed to allopathy, which tends to be things which need immediate action. But of course, along with that come side effects and such like. So people want something which can they keep going for a longer period of time. So lifestyle changes, herbs, food they're eating, mindset. All those are the longer term, and that is where we see the approach. And so we've created in the NHS a part of which is a research area where we have people who are both medical doctors, but also would like the allopathic or the Ayurvedic approach and the yoga and the meditation. So we're incorporating that so that in hospitals we can have that incorporated. And the vision is that these will be seen in hospitals up and down the country, so that part of the treatment would be that patients have meditation, have yoga included, which at the moment is not there, or in very, very sparse places. So we're training practitioners in yoga, meditation, and also in chaplaincy, because as you were saying earlier, the whole approach in the NHS is changing. There's more focus now on prevention than ever before. And that's partly because of works that we are doing and people like us, where we're saying, rather than just giving them a tablet, how about if they work together for whether it is weight management or you want to stop smoking or drinking, in terms of groups where people are sharing information and are guiding each other and being a support to each other. And that is what yoga is in effect. It is getting people together. So if we can work on this with the NHS, say we can save you millions of pounds if you create these centres. So we will give you the staffing, people who have got treatment, who have got the training. And so there's more yoga training going on right now than ever before by different colleges. So if we can get them all working at a certain level, which is acceptable to the government here, and then that can be replicated in Europe and then around the world.
It's a complementary. We're not fighting against the big companies. That will always have a place. The drugs are required. We know that for life. And if you can even 50% convey the message that this is complementary to whatever is out there, then we are working together. It's not one or the other. We're not against allopathic, and I'm sure they are slowly not against anything complementary. They want to have evidence, which is understandable. There have to be evidence-based studies, and now they are, even for yoga. They found out that there's scientific evidence for back pain relief with yoga, and there's more and more studies going on all the time. So it is what it says, a complementary to everything else.
It's a really, really luxury. If you think about it, everything happens twice, right? First in the mind, then in reality. Right? You want to go from here to Delhi, you've got to see how you're going to get there, right? And then you do it. So similarly, if we can change the thinking within the medical fraternity, which is let's think about not just medication, but what is it that you're trying to achieve? If you want somebody to be healthier, it's not just purely by symptoms, which is what allopathic medication generally does. It's also working on the mind, making people happier, more content, having a support system. So if we can work towards that, we would have, I think, whether you were use the word allopathic or use the word natural, naturopathy, Ayurvedic, that approach is where we think the healthcare system should work towards.
Correct. And promoting healthier, lifestyles. I always argue that a simple walk in a park or a forest is way better than any amount of intense exercise that you do in an air conditioned closed room. I'm a big advocate of just promoting outdoors nature. And I think Ayurveda and, connection to nature automatically addresses that bigger, sustainable development kind of conversation, because the more you're aware of your environments, the more you're connected to them, and the more you're in sync with nature, the more respectful you are of that environment as well. And there is better codependence and interdependence with our natural environment, which is we can see the effects of uh, the climate change. We can see the effects of what is happening when you don't respect that balance that nature automatically demands. Um, so I'm going to do a quick fire round now, and let's see. I can't offer you a hamper like they do in some popular shows. I wish I could. I can just do a
We
nice
have a virtual one.
funny cheers. There's not even
Yes.
Thai in it. So
Yes,
I'll do a
that's
funny
fine.
cheers with
Yeah,
you.
we're happy. We're happy to see your smile. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go with Raviji first. So quick fire questions. There's only a few. So one daily habit everyone should adopt.
Gargling with maybe some like sesame oil and scraping their tongue.
Oh, that's a new one. Okay, yoga or meditation?
Meditation, because work on the mind, then work on the body.
Well said. Most underrated health practice.
Meditation, not thinking about themselves.
True. One Ayurvedic principle everybody should know.
Um, the scraping the tongue is the one that comes first to mind.
Detox.
To detoxify, and whatever you haven't digested helps digest that.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Mhm.
Well answered. Sushma ji, your turn.
Mm.
One well-being myth you'd like to retire.
I would say the myth is that more knowledge is not necessarily a good thing about health. Listen to your body.
Stop doom scrolling.
Stop that, yeah, which we're all guilty of now and then. But yes, stop that. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Most important self-care habit.
For me, that would, and I think in the wider world, it would be sleep. It is the most important. Now, even now, they're realizing that lack of sleep leads to obesity, to mental problems, weight gain, again, same as obesity, and general, fatigue in all areas. So for me, sleep is a huge, and we must invest in the right number of hours for your body. For me, it's 7.
One food you wish people ate more often.
I would say almonds. They're complete food in themselves, and you can survive on almonds. Of course, I wouldn't recommend you do that, but they provide all the nutrients that are required. My mum used to say to me, "Eat 7 almonds for your brain," and I used to say, "What's wrong with my brain?" But I know what point she was making.
Yeah, soaked
Yeah.
almonds. That's my mantra as well. Definitely.
Ah, good,
Yeah.
good.
One word that defines wellness.
That is balance. Balance in all areas: the body, the mind, the soul, the diet, things you enjoy. There should still be a balance on those. Too much of anything is no good. So balance.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I think that's
yeah.
great advice for everyone listening and
Hmm.
watching. And the balance is what yoga talks about. Yoga means balance. So
Yes,
that's great
yes.
advice.
And Ayurveda as well. It's the balance of everything, balance of your energies, balance of nature and yourself, being in balance with nature. As you mentioned earlier, walk in the park is much better. They're
Definitely.
practicing Ayurveda. Yeah.
So finally, any message to people listening across geographies? I think we have listeners worldwide. What is that one advice that you'd give to somebody who's looking to live a healthier and more balanced life?
I think we've got to first of all be more connected with ourselves, within ourselves, because there's too many different stimuli coming from outside. Number two is it's as Sushma said, listen to your body. If you have a pain somewhere, give it more thought, have more focus towards that, so that you can heal from within. Number three is when you're eating, don't necessarily look at the calories, don't just look at how much protein. Try getting that balance between the 6 tastes that I've referred to. Look at getting not, when you say have a plate, the plate should be piled up that way, but it should be piled just normal. And eat 3 times a day. It's fine. Have the your breakfast as a large meal, lunch a large, and the dinner least, rather than the other way around. Walk, exercise, activities with people rather than by yourself. Be more connected. And within the happiness of others lies your own. If you have that principle in mind, I think your life will be a lot happier, more content.
Absolutely. Seva is something that you both have also devoted your lives to, and in fact, your families. Sushma ji, any advice?
I would say if you want to take something away from this year's International Yoga Day is just take up one small part of yoga, whether it's the pranayam, which can just be deep breathing, a few deep breaths in the morning. Let's make it simple. Whether it's just spending 5 minutes to pause during your day, the mindfulness, it's a type of meditation. We're not saying go and meditate and sit, on a mountaintop. It's just where in your own room, take 5 minutes. So if one small change can lead to many more. So just if you can take that on board, it will lead to healthier beginnings and things will move on from there. It's also about routine, isn't it? Whatever you're doing, make it consistent. Consistency is the key. If you can do that every day, it will lead to, other health, elevations, how you can promote health that way.
So do
That's
it
my
when you're feeling great, do it when you're feeling bored, do it anyways, and do it every day with consistency. That's great advice. Thank you,
exactly.
both of
Yeah.
you. That has been just wonderful interacting with you, hearing from you. I don't think we've ever interacted like this in this lens, so I'm delighted. It's a fortunate thing for me that I've been able to do that. And to be able to do that on a very special day, that is the International Day of Yoga. Thank you so much. It's been great, great pleasure. And
Thank
dear
you. Thank you.
audience, on International Yoga Day, may we remember that yoga is not about perfection. It is about balance. You heard there from the experts. And as the Bhagavad Gita reminds us, when we bring balance to the way we eat, work, rest, and live, yoga becomes a path that reduces suffering and restores harmony. Thank you for joining us. Namaste.